Most people over 60 have no idea that the first thing they eat in the morning could either protect their legs or slowly destroy them. They wake up, drink some coffee, maybe grab a piece of toast, or skip breakfast altogether. And they think that's harmless. But what if I told you that this seemingly innocent habit is one of the biggest reasons millions of older adults lose the ability to walk, balance, or even get up from a chair without help? After age 60, your legs become more vulnerable than ever. You may not feel it happening, but each morning that starts without the right nutrients puts your leg muscles at greater risk. Risk of shrinking. Risk of weakness. Risk of losing the very strength that allows you to stay independent. But here's the part no one tells you. That process can be slowed. Even reversed. Not with medication. Not with gym workouts or supplements. But with something far simpler, what you put on your plate within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. That first bite of food, if chosen carefully, can trigger muscle repair, improve circulation to your lower body, reduce nighttime cramps, and delay muscle aging by up to 10 years. In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 specific breakfast foods, some you probably already have in your kitchen, that are scientifically proven to support muscle strength, nerve function, and mobility in adults over 60. I'll explain how each food works, when to eat it, and what to pair it with for maximum impact. And I'll also warn you about common breakfast mistakes, things people eat with good intentions, but that actually sabotage muscle health in subtle but serious ways. Before we begin, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Dr. Charles. I've spent more than 40 years in the field of geriatric medicine, working with thousands of patients facing age-related muscle loss, balance issues, and mobility decline. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: most seniors don't lose their strength because of aging. They lose it because of routine. Because of repetition. Because each morning, without realizing it, they repeat the same small mistake that weakens their legs one day at a time. But I've also seen what happens when you change that routine. I've seen patients who could barely walk across a room regain their stride. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s eliminate leg cramps, ditch their canes, and return to morning walks with just a few small dietary changes. And it all started with how they began their day. So if your legs feel stiffer in the morning, if your knees are sore, your balance is shaky, or your steps feel heavier than they used to, don't assume it's just age. Watch closely. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your body has been missing each morning and how to start giving it back. Now let's talk about what happens inside your body during those first waking hours and why it matters more than you think. When you wake up in the morning, your body is in a fasted state. You've gone 7 to 9 hours without food. During that time, your body begins to break down internal resources to keep essential systems running. And unfortunately, for older adults, one of the first places the body turns to for energy is muscle, especially the muscles in your legs. This is called a catabolic state, and it's dangerous if left unchecked. According to the National Institute on Aging, adults over 60 can lose up to 33% of their leg muscle mass over 10 years. And the early signs are subtle. You start to take shorter steps. Getting out of a chair requires more effort. Balance becomes inconsistent. Your legs may feel heavier, or you find yourself hesitating before walking across a room. These aren't isolated incidents, they're signs of declining strength and coordination. And here's where most people unknowingly make it worse. They skip breakfast. They drink black coffee on an empty stomach. Or they reach for simple carbs like white bread or sugary cereal. These choices don't feed your muscles. They deprive them. They cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, increase inflammation, and worsen the very muscle loss we're trying to prevent. So what's the alternative? What should you be eating in that critical first hour of your day? Let's begin with one of the most powerful foods for muscle maintenance: whole eggs. Whole eggs are loaded with essential nutrients your body needs to rebuild and protect muscle tissue. The standout is leucine, a branched-chain amino acid that plays a major role in activating muscle protein synthesis. Leucine tells your body, it's time to repair and grow. and older adults need more of it than younger people to get the same benefit. A study from the University of Illinois found that seniors who consumed 2 whole eggs each morning for 8 weeks showed measurable improvements in leg strength and walking speed. That's not theory, that's real-world clinical improvement. And it's not just the protein. The yolk contains vitamin D, vitamin B12, and choline, all of which support nerve health, balance, and coordination. And let's not forget about iron. Eggs are one of the best sources of heme iron, which is highly absorbable and critical for healthy blood circulation. Poor circulation is one of the reasons many seniors experience numbness, tingling, and cramping in their legs. By starting your morning with an egg or 2, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're improving the way blood and oxygen move through your lower body. It's simple, it's affordable, and it works. Just make sure you eat the whole egg, yolk included, and have it boiled, poached, or lightly scrambled. Avoid frying or pairing it with processed meats that add unnecessary sodium or saturated fats. Now, let's talk about the next food, oatmeal, especially when combined with chia seeds. Oatmeal may not seem like a muscle-building powerhouse, but don't underestimate it. It contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that supports stable blood sugar levels. Why does that matter? Because stable blood sugar allows your body to effectively use the protein, vitamins, and minerals you consume. When blood sugar spikes and crashes, your body becomes less efficient at repairing tissue, including muscle. Now add chia seeds to that bowl of oatmeal, and the benefits multiply. Chia is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, nutrients that support muscle contraction, prevent cramps, and improve nerve signaling. Magnesium in particular is a common deficiency in older adults, and it's directly linked to nighttime leg spasms and early morning stiffness. Chia seeds also expand in liquid, creating a gel-like texture that promotes hydration and supports digestion. That's a win for nutrient absorption. You don't need a lot, just a tablespoon stirred into your oatmeal after cooking is enough. Some of my patients like to add a few slices of banana or blueberries on top, which adds antioxidants and potassium. But be mindful if you're diabetic or watching your blood sugar. In that case, go for berries. They're lower in sugar and packed with anti-inflammatory compounds. Now let's continue with the next 3 morning foods that can dramatically support your lower body strength, balance, and independence, especially if you're over 60 and starting to feel the early signs of leg weakness. Let's start with a fruit that most people already have in their kitchen, the banana. Bananas are often misunderstood in senior nutrition. Some people think they're too sugary. Others think they're just filler. But the truth is, for the right person, eaten at the right time, a banana is one of the best tools for supporting leg health, especially when it comes to preventing cramps and maintaining muscular function. The primary reason is potassium. A single medium banana contains about 400 milligrams of it, roughly 10% of your daily needs. And potassium is absolutely vital for proper muscle contractions. Without it, your leg muscles become more likely to misfire, cramp, or twitch, especially during rest or sleep. Potassium also helps regulate your body's fluid balance and keeps your nerves functioning smoothly, which is key for avoiding instability and falls. Now, a word of caution. Bananas aren't ideal for everyone. If you have type 2 diabetes, chronic kidney disease, or are sensitive to blood sugar spikes, you need to be careful. In those cases, a smaller banana, preferably one that's slightly underripe, contains more resistant starch and less sugar, which makes it a safer choice. You can also pair a banana with a source of protein or fat to slow down absorption. For example, adding banana slices to your oatmeal or eating it with plain Greek yogurt will help stabilize your blood sugar while still delivering the muscle-supporting potassium your legs need. The key is to avoid eating a banana on its own if you're prone to sugar crashes. But when combined properly, it becomes a natural electrolyte booster that supports your legs from the moment you stand up. That brings us to one of my personal favorites, Greek yogurt. If you've been skipping this food, you're missing one of the best natural sources of slow-digesting protein available, especially important for older adults whose muscle repair slows with age. Greek yogurt is different from regular yogurt in that it's strained to remove excess liquid, making it thicker, more concentrated, and nearly twice as high in protein. A single 170-gram serving of plain Greek yogurt can contain up to 17 grams of high-quality protein, including significant amounts of casein and leucine. Casein digests slowly, providing your body with a steady supply of amino acids throughout the morning, critical for halting muscle breakdown that may have begun overnight. And leucine, as I've mentioned before, is the amino acid most responsible for switching on muscle protein synthesis. But the benefits don't stop there. Greek yogurt is also rich in calcium and vitamin D, which support bone density and neuromuscular coordination. That combination is essential for balance and walking stability, especially in seniors who are at higher risk of falls. And then there are the probiotics. While most people think of probiotics for gut health, they also enhance nutrient absorption and reduce systemic inflammation, both of which support muscle and nerve function in the legs. Of course, not everyone tolerates dairy equally well. If you're lactose intolerant, look for lactose-free Greek yogurt or options made from goat or sheep milk, which tend to be gentler on digestion. Avoid the sugary, flavored varieties. Excess added sugar not only interferes with protein metabolism but also increases inflammation, which can worsen leg stiffness and delay recovery. I recommend having plain Greek yogurt within an hour of waking. You can mix in a few chia seeds for added magnesium and fiber, or top it with antioxidant-rich berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon for blood sugar control. It's versatile, filling, and highly effective as part of a muscle-preserving breakfast. Now let's move to something most people never consider a breakfast food, but incredibly effective: steamed sweet potatoes with a pinch of natural mineral salt, such as Celtic or Himalayan salt. Most people don't think of sweet potatoes as a breakfast food. But their complex carbohydrates help restore muscle glycogen, the energy your legs need to function properly after fasting overnight. Unlike simple carbs, sweet potatoes release energy slowly, helping to prevent the early day fatigue, cramps, or heaviness many seniors feel in their legs after getting up. But what makes this combination so powerful is the natural mineral salt. Unlike refined table salt, Celtic salt contains over 80 trace minerals, including magnesium, potassium, and calcium, all essential for proper muscle contractions and nerve signaling. These minerals help reduce stiffness, regulate hydration inside muscle cells, and support electrolyte balance. When eaten warm, steamed sweet potato with a small sprinkle of mineral salt can kickstart circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and prime your legs for movement. It's particularly helpful if eaten just before your main breakfast, say 10 minutes after your morning glass of water. It sets the tone for the rest of your day. A 2022 study from the French Institute of Mineral Nutrition found that adults over 60 who consumed high-fiber, potassium and magnesium-rich breakfasts had 41% better balance scores and 50% fewer fall incidents over a 3-month period. That's a meaningful outcome, and it starts with something as simple as a half-sweet potato. Just remember, you don't need to make all these changes at once. Start small. Add one food. Get consistent with it. Then add the next. Your legs don't need a radical intervention. They need a reliable supply of the right nutrients at the right time. But what you eat is just part of the equation. To fully protect your legs and support the repair and strength building process, we also need to talk about what you do each morning. These next 5 habits are simple, fast, and completely free. And when paired with the right breakfast, they create the ideal environment for muscle growth, nerve repair, and long-term mobility. I teach these same habits to my patients, and I've seen firsthand how much of a difference they make, not over months, but in just a few weeks. Let's start with the first habit, which I believe every senior should adopt: drinking warm water with a pinch of natural mineral salt as soon as you wake up. Most people don't realize this, but after a night of sleep, your body is slightly dehydrated and your electrolyte levels are off balance. That's one of the reasons your legs might feel heavy, tight, or even unsteady when you first get out of bed. By sipping 250 milliliters of warm water with just 1/5 teaspoon of Celtic or Himalayan salt, you begin replenishing sodium, potassium, magnesium, and trace minerals lost overnight. This rehydrates muscle tissue, restores nerve conductivity, and improves blood flow to the legs. Think of it as priming the pump before you start the day. It's simple, effective, and takes less than 5 minutes. And for those of you who experience morning leg cramps or foot spasms, this one change alone can make a noticeable difference within the first week. Once you've rehydrated, move on to the second habit, a basic 3-minute standing leg activation routine. You don't need a gym. You don't need weights. You don't even need to leave your bedroom. Here's how it works. Stand tall near a wall or chair for support. Slowly raise one leg 2 to 4 inches off the floor, hold for 10 seconds, and then switch legs. Repeat this 5 times on each side. This activates your hips, thighs, calves, and core, all essential for balance and stability. It also wakes up your proprioceptors, the sensors in your joints and muscles that help your brain know where your body is in space. These small movements are especially helpful for older adults who feel wobbly in the morning or are recovering from a sedentary lifestyle. And done consistently, this short sequence helps prevent the stiff, unsteady steps that often lead to stumbles or falls. Now, onto the third habit, avoid rushing out of bed too quickly. It sounds minor, but I can't tell you how many falls I've seen that happened in the first 30 seconds of the day. When you suddenly shift from lying flat to standing upright, your blood pressure drops. Your heart rate hasn't caught up. And your brain may not be fully oxygenated yet. The result? Dizziness, imbalance, or even fainting. Instead, take 3 deep breaths. Sit up slowly. Rotate your wrists and ankles for 30 seconds. This helps improve circulation to both your upper and lower body. Then, when you do stand, pause for a moment. Let your body settle before taking your first steps. It's a tiny change, but for those over 60, especially those taking medications that affect blood pressure, it can be the difference between a safe morning and a dangerous fall. Next is the fourth habit, exposing your skin to early sunlight for 5 to 10 minutes. Just step outside or sit by a window. The reason this matters is vitamin D. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. At the same time, our bones become more brittle and our muscles more prone to fatigue. Vitamin D plays a critical role in calcium absorption, bone density, and neuromuscular coordination, especially in the ankles, hips, and knees. Now for the fifth and final habit, don't stay hungry too long after waking. The longer your body stays in a fasted state, the more likely it is to start breaking down your own muscle for fuel. This is especially dangerous for older adults whose ability to regenerate muscle tissue is already reduced. Even if you don't feel ready for a full meal, eat something small, half a boiled egg, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, or a piece of steamed sweet potato with a pinch of salt. These micromeals can shift your body from muscle breakdown mode to muscle repair mode. Over time, this shift supports energy, reduces frailty, and protects your legs from slow deterioration. Now, I understand some of this might sound too simple. You might be thinking, can a glass of water, a few slow movements, and a bite of breakfast really change the way my legs feel? Let me be clear, I've treated patients who were on the verge of giving up. People who thought their weakness was irreversible. People who were already using walkers, avoiding stairs, or too afraid to leave the house without help. And with these exact strategies, right foods, right timing, and 5 intentional morning habits, they began to rebuild. Not overnight. Not without effort. But step by step, they got stronger. Now before we wrap up, let me share something I tell every new patient of mine. Every morning, you have a choice. You can feed and support the muscles that keep you moving, or you can ignore them and let them shrink quietly. One path leads to strength, independence, and confidence. The other leads to stiffness, weakness, and eventual dependence. And the difference between the two isn't genetics or luck. It's action. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to leave a comment below. Tell me what you've been eating in the morning, or what you plan to change after watching this. Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to take that first step. And don't forget to subscribe. In the next video, I'll reveal the 3 most common breakfast mistakes that older adults make, foods they think are healthy, but that actually drain muscle strength and contribute to balance issues, cramps, and fatigue. If you've been struggling despite eating clean, you might be sabotaging your own recovery without even knowing it. Until then, I'm Dr. Charles. Stay strong, stay steady, and as always, start your day with intention.